Any gripes of the weeks?
Well, I did have one, but I feel like we've dealt with it. But I could repeat it if you want.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that was... anyway, I've got loads going on right now today.
Oh, here we go. This is not a house gripe, really, is it? But go on then.
Basically, it's the gripe of life.
The gripe of life. The gripe of life. There's a song in there for
There
sure.
is definitely.
Okay.
You know, the sound of misery. Music. Anyway, I've got dyspraxia, right? If you don't know what that is, I heard somebody explain it really well the other day. Like how autism affects interpersonal relationships, right? Dyspraxia is like the same thing, but with the physical world. So you struggle to kind of interface with, like, you know, timetables, keeping hold of things, you know, navigating, you know, space and time.
Right.
So
just to clarify, you're shit at people, you're shit at stuff.
it's stuff.
And
Yeah.
I'm good at everything. Okay, carry on.
Other than picking t-shirts.
Way.
And
I'm winning awards. Okay.
all right.
I'm finishing jigsaw puzzles. But let's throw those on the board.
So so the other day I lost my bank card. Really frustrating. Well upset. And so I applied for a new one. We got over it. And then I got my new one yesterday. And I've managed to lose that one the day I got it. And someone's found it and they've started buying things on PlayStation Network with it. So I'm, you know, I'm fuming. I've only got fucking 50 quid in there. That still lasts me the next 2 weeks. I'm fucked. And he's spending it on fucking Fortnite skins. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, that's bang out of order. You should be spending it on Rizzler skins.
Yeah, Rizzlers and maybe edibles and stuff like that. I was supposed to buy edibles today. I can't do it now. Fuming.
You can have one of mine.
You know, and I've just been trying. It got on top of me today because I think a big thing about having a problem, like consistently I lose things and then I tell people like, oh fucking, can you help me out? Lost my phone again. And I become a burden to other people and stuff like that. And I've found recently it's really frustrating me that, like, I can't, you know, I don't feel like this is my fault, but I feel like the world is like, you need to.
What if it was your fault and you could just stop doing it?
Well, this is the problem, innit? If I could just stop doing it, I definitely would. There's no way I'd choose to live a life that's shit. You know what I mean?
Do you not think, though...
You always lose it at the club. Stop going out.
Just don't leave the house. I was at that point yesterday. I was like, I was on the phone to Aisha. I was like, I'm just never going to leave the house again. Right? I'm just going to stay in all the time. You know, we're just going to leave all my items here.
Did you drink or did you smoke weed?
Well,
there we go.
I didn't actually
Well,
drink.
you didn't...
And I hadn't
You
drunk
get
before
tough
I
love,
left.
by the way, right here.
Well, no, hey, listen, tough love and not giving a shit is the same thing, by the way.
I do care. I don't want you to keep losing your stuff.
Well, I'm going to keep losing my stuff, but that's the point. And obviously, it's frustrating for other people. They're like, why are you so stupid? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm actually quite intelligent. I've got some stuff going on up here, figuring out the universe and that. I just can't.
No, you figured out where Kate Middleton was. She got sacrificed last week.
she was. Well,
we solved that issue.
has there been an update on that, hasn't
it? Yeah.
What's happened?
Well, the Antichrist has been born. That's what's happened.
Let me say, I appreciate, you know, dyspraxia is a real thing, and obviously...
No, you don't. No,
well, let me finish.
None of you do.
Let me finish my sentence.
You're not finishing, right?
I am.
I'm starting.
No.
So we got because that's
I think when I took edibles last week, the next day I still felt hazy. I do think the amount of weed you smoke does definitely play some factor into this.
But a little bit of it for me is like I'm trying to make the outside match the inside. So I'm going to lose things and be clumsy and shit anyway. I might as well get high. At least you guys are like, oh, he's a fucking stoner. You know what I mean? And it's not just you're broken and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
you know?
When you lose stuff, like when you lost your card, I called you and just see if you're right. I don't think less of you, but I do think the weed definitely...
Listen...
I used to lose stuff all the time. It's just you just stop doing it as you get along.
This is what I mean. This is dyspraxia.
It's not bad as you, but I lost a lot of bags and shit, left them around in places.
Yeah, and I think with having dyspraxia, it's really hard to explain how frustrating like it is, like how much of it is out of my control. You know, on a daily basis, I'm gonna fuck up monumentally and not be able to kind of deal with it on my own. So I'm trying to find a way to make this funny on stage. That's been difficult.
I think
Nobody's
might
into it.
Be worth though investing some time or money into things that could stop this, like getting if you had a card on your phone, that would really make your life much easier.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
So it might be worth.
Also, what about like therapy or some sort of something, like doing something that's going to help?
I spoke to this. I was speaking to my mum about it, and she was like, "Well, you can get an occupation." My mum's got dyspraxia as well, so she deals with these problems every day, just like me. She's just as bad.
Oh, where's my son?
She don't get stoned. Where's my son? Oh, he's crying on the bus again because he don't know where to get off.
If that's what you tried on stage, I can see why. I like it, but your regular audience might be sad.
So a great example of me having dyspraxia today is I've gone to go and meet my friend Beck at the swimming bath. So we're going to go swimming together. I was going to go to his to hang around afterwards. So he said, meet me at 7:30. And I was like, well, that's early, but I think I can make it. I got up early, I got a shower, I got the thingy there, and he's like, I texted him and I'm calling him and he's not there, and you know, I'm getting a bit flustered and upset now. PM. 7 PM.
30.
You know.
You went to meet him at 7 a.m.
I went to meet him at 7 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. So and
Beck's going to get his wheelchair ass out to the swimming bath for 7 a.m.
Well, he's not, is he? I don't know why I ever thought that. I was like, maybe he's trying to do some self-improve. I don't know. Maybe he's been watching Andrew Tate like I have, and he's like, I've got to get up and get out of there. But yeah, no, that's a great example of like, one time I went to go and meet a girl at the cinema, and I got to the cinema and she weren't there, so I was like, well, we'll just go and watch the film. And then, I left the film, and I was about 13, and people were looking for me. I think they called the police. They were like, he's gone missing or fine. I was watching Thor 2, right? And they were like, where were you? And I was just watching the film. They were like, you're supposed to meet her at her house.
Oh.
And I just went to cinema on my own and watched it. This has been a consistent thing for me throughout my life.
I was going to a thing once, like a seminar when I was a trainer, and I went there in March, and they said, no, it's in May.
Right.
So I drove 2 hours, got 2 days off work. So everyone's done shit like that, I think.
Everybody's done, anyone who's travelled, I suppose, has done it's 5 past midnight, the flight, or whatever, and you get the wrong day. Because it goes into the next day. Yeah, it lands at a certain day, so you go a day late, and you're like, "Oh, it was yesterday." My mum and dad did that with me and my brother when I was a teenager by then. It was one of the last holidays I went on with them. One time, I had a gig, and I rushed out of the house. This was when I was a teenager. This is when I was doing music. Mm-hmm. Rushed out of the house, and later on, I realised I'd forgotten something. So I'd left something at home that was important enough. So that's one thing. I came back and the police were outside my house. I was like, fucking hell, what's happened?
Oh, shit.
My parents weren't in. I was like, shit, what's going on? And I'd left the door wide open.
Oh, no.
I just left the door, swung. It wasn't even like a Yale lock or anything. So it was just like the door was just wide open and the police were there taking down and what's going on here? Is this house being burgled?
Oh, wow.
It was just me. I just left the door open and gone to Tame. And then luckily come back, because the police were standing there. They hadn't closed the door.
No,
they were like, just what's going on here?
Well, that's not their job, really, is it?
It's not really. No,
it's not. Catch criminals.
We're out to protect, serve, and close doors.
Probably like a sting operation.
We've all done stupid stuff.
Yeah, I know. We've all done stupid stuff, and that's the point of like dyspraxia, where it's so frustrating, right? Everyone's got their own little story in that. Everyone's got, one time I fell asleep on the bus and I woke up.
You've done more since you've lived here.
I've done more yesterday than you've done in your life. Do you know what I mean? I'm living. This is me. This is my like. I have quite a blasé attitude to life, because if I don't, right, it's too much. I have to be like, well, things happen, and maybe I'll turn up tomorrow, and maybe I won't, and maybe this. You know what I mean? That's better for me than being like, at 2:00 I've got to go to
Well, how's that work? That's obviously the thing you use to cope. But how's that working out for you so far? Because you seem like you're still frustrated with it.
Yeah, it's not working out. So
maybe you've got to change the way you approach things.
Well, this is what because there's an issue, isn't there? There seems to be like two schools of thought. There's like one where it's like, you know, everything you do affects your life and the outcomes. You know, everything that you do affects your life. And then there's the other thing where it's like, you know, life's kind of predetermined and it doesn't matter what you do, but things kind of happen for a reason. There's these two schools of thought in the world, right? I didn't come up with them. Somebody else did. And on one side...
As if someone was going, did you come up with that?
Yeah, on one side, you know, they're all, you know, they're getting up, they're going to the gym. They're all entrepreneurs for some reason. They've all got fucking side hustles and you know, sports cars. And on the other side, they're all fucking sweaty weirdos.
Well, maybe you need to decide which...
I'm so glad that's what the world is like, huh?
Maybe you need to... that is exactly what it's like. And it's just me in the middle being like, oh, I don't want to... This is how it... You know, too much of either is bad, right? So you either end up in Andrew Tate's University or you end up in a cult, you know...
But they both cults.
Getting naked. Like. One of them's more pushy and doesn't charge you. Mm. And the other one's Andrew Tate's University.
I feel like last week on the podcast, we were sitting here, Dom awkwardly trying to praise you for the organisation that you've been showing in your life recently. And now you've had this thing. But part of it is because probably your standards are going up. That's the one reason that people get frustrated with themselves, is because suddenly you'll no longer want to tolerate those things that you would find okay before. It's part of getting older. It's part of moving on and changing. So little to your, you know, without you noticing it, you're moving on.
Yeah.
But when these things happen, you have a breaking point. So the thing is, you just have to get to a point where you go, what am I going to do? Because you clearly want to change. So how are you going to do something new to change it, which you're already doing, but you're noticing it now because your standards have gone up for yourself and the behavior that you've shown before is no... And obviously it's not all your fault, right? You've got this neurological thing that causes these things to happen, but you can do things about it. It's just difficult.
Yeah, you know, I think everybody has things that they struggle with and things that they can work through. But I just feel like with dyspraxia, there's not the same... Like, Dom isn't even autistic, right? And we just let him do shit that you wouldn't let anybody do ever. You know what I mean? Just because of this word that's around now.
I like
do you know what I mean?
And non-Dom. I'm a fan of it. Let's go. What are we doing?
He's just rude sometimes. And some things, you know, some social things, it's like... I would never, like, if you were somebody else, I'd probably stab you in the face in your sleep.
Yeah.
But because we've decided you're autistic, you're allowed to do that now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like I don't get the same empathy. I like it. If you come home and I've left the door open, it's an issue. You're texting me. You know, I left the light on to the toilet before, and I heard from another room, "Turn the light off."
Well, that wasn't me.
Right?
I don't comment.
And I was like, oh. First of all, he's right, and that's the most annoying part, right?
I don't comment most of the shit you do, really. Sometimes I do, but for the most part, I don't.
Yeah.
So
I was on a roll then.
So if you left the door open, I'd probably just go. If I just left the door open and close it, which has happened before.
Okay, it's not going to be funny if going to have to do a bit of back and forth. You know what I mean? A little bit of
turn the light off was just because
give and take.
The bathroom light doesn't need to be on. Here we go. Like, so if anyone's listened this far, right, we've obviously gone a little bit serious here, and that's good. Boys talking about things that matter, right? So
mental health.
We do have listeners who listen this far into the podcast. So
do we?
When you're out there, yeah, they're mostly my mates and Ethan's uncles, but that's a lot. Just Ethan's uncles is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So send in your suggestions. What can Ethan do? Funny and not funny. Wrong answers only, right answers only. Send them all in. What can we do to help this situation?